I want to thank you for joining me once again in the old dusty workshop. I am very excited today to be making 3 kitchen knives. Two of them are going to be in kind of a new steel. I've worked with it in the past and I really enjoyed it. It is some 26C3, which is it's a fairly simple high carbon steel, except that it has a whole lot of carbon, 1.25% or so. Now I think it has a couple of other things in it. Really, it is just a very high edge stability steel that is really ideal for chef's knives, and the hamones that it produces are incredible. That is why I have chosen this steel for 2 of those knives. And I will also be making another knife in some AEBL. The chef's knife in AEBL is an order, so it is sold. However, the 2 26C3 knives will be available for sale. I'm going to be doing one in kind of a standard 10-inch chef's knife, and the other is going to be more of a K-tip. So I'm really excited to get started. I'm going to take you guys over to the bench over here. We're going to get that traced out on some steel and get those cut out and ground. So now that I have my knives all traced on here, I am going to go ahead and cut them out with the angle grinder. On this one, I was a little undecided, ended up trying a couple different things. I am going to cut it large and then grind it down to the size that I want in the grinder so I get a good idea of the dimensions, and it just lets me kind of dial it in to exactly where I want it to be. Alright, so all three of them have been rough ground. Now I didn't focus on making the grind lines super straight because right now I just want to remove a good amount of material. It'll be easier on my belts after the heat treat to remove a good bit, but I left the edge nice and thick. I got about half of my material removal done before heat treat, and that just makes the whole process a little easier. So now I'm going to clay up these two knives, and this one I'm going to drill the holes in the handle and then get it wrapped in a foil packet. So, all of these are now out of the temper. However, I do have a couple that have very slight warps. And I'm going to show you now how I fix that. So, all of these have been tempered 2 times. And now, I'm going to do a straightening temper. So, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the clamp, the apex of the warp, I'm going to tighten it down, just until I'm bent just a little opposite of the warp itself. Now I'm going to do a third temper cycle, and that doesn't change the hardness at all. It's the temperature really that changes the hardness, so I'm going to do the same temperature tempering cycle. I'm just going to do it again, and that'll help to straighten the blade itself. So, now you can see that the blade is straight. Just took one cycle. Done the same thing with these two. And now it is time to get the rest of our grinding done. And we'll get a peek at those Hamones. I wanted to mention real quick, I will be grinding the edge down to nearly a zero grind. Not 100% a zero grind, but very, very close. So I'm going to start with 60 grit and move my way up. I'm going to use some surface conditioning belts at the end to get a really good finish on there and get us ready for hand sanding. And then it'll be time to reveal the Hamones on these two. And this one's just going to get a standard hand rub. So, I'm going to go ahead and jump on the grinder and let's make some sparks. So I have them all pretty roughly ground to about 180 grit. And now I'm going to use some surface conditioning belts to get the final finish on here. And they will all be hand sanded. And these two will be etched to reveal the Hamones. And that is just a beautiful finish. It'll make the hand sanding very, very easy. I cannot wait to see the Hamones on these two. So now, I'm going to go ahead and get these set up for hand sanding. But those surface conditioning belts really work fantastic, especially for wide blades like this. It really just kind of evens everything out. Gets rid of all the big scratches. Alright, so that is where I'm going to call this episode. I want to thank you for watching me get started on these 3 chef's knives. I am really excited to show you all the Hamones on those blades, and I have some really cool materials picked for the handles. It's some resin that I poured myself, so I'm very excited to get that shown off to you guys. Now, I did just want to mention that those two 26C3 blades will be available for sale, and if you order here soon, in the next couple of days, they will most likely get to you by Christmas, and they would make a fantastic Christmas gift. And so I want to thank you for watching today. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It really helps me to continue building the channel and doing awesome projects like this for you guys. I did just want to mention I have not forgotten or put down the stainless Sanmai Bowie knife. I'm just taking a little bit of time doing the guard. So episode 3 of that series will be out here in the next few days. I want to thank you for watching this episode of Let's Make a Knife. I hope to catch you guys in the next episode where I will be finishing all 3 of these blades, and I'm really excited to see how they look all done. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next episode. Take it easy.